Hey, it's Tom here from the solution engineering team at Sanity. Today I want to talk to you about our Shopify app, Sanity Connect, and how you can use this to push content from Sanity to your Shopify store and then display this content in your Liquid-based Shopify theme. So we'll firstly take a look at how we can install and configure the Sanity Connect app before moving along to setting up a Sanity Studio. We'll look at customizing the studio, adding schema to create new content options, and how you can use our Shopify asset plugin to work with Shopify assets directly from your Sanity Studio. And then finally, we'll look at how we can bring this all together in your Liquid theme. First up, let's install the Sanity Connect app to our Shopify store. So I've gone to the App Store and searched for Sanity Connect. So now we can get this installed. First thing we'll need to do after installing the app is to connect that up to our Sanity account. If you've already got an account, you'll just need to authorize. Otherwise, you'll have to create an account with Sanity. Once that's authorized, we can then connect up to our project. We can either create a new project or choose an existing project. I'm going to create a new one. Perfect. So now we've created that project, we can configure our synchronization. The default synchronization is just going from Shopify to Sanity. So we're just going to want to tick this box here to synchronize content back from Sanity to Shopify so we can access that in our online store theme. Now, for the sync back from Sanity to Shopify, we do need a few extra permissions. So we'll be redirected at this point just to update the app with those permissions. And following that, we will then be able to synchronize content back from Sanity to Shopify. And we'll see here that there's a two-way sync of content. And we can see now that that's successfully done. Perfect. So in terms of getting up and running with our Sanity Studio, we've got a couple of commands down here that we can run in our terminal to instigate a new Sanity Studio. We're interested in the second command here, which is the Studio for online storefronts. So we copy that command and open our terminal, and we can run that command, and that will basically install a Sanity Studio onto my computer. We'll be able to choose where we want to put that on our computer, and then that will then install the files we need. Choose our package manager, just run with npm as the default, and now that will install all the things we need onto our computer. Great, so that's installed, so I can run cd and change my location into that directory that's just been installed, and I'm just going to open this up now in my code editor so we can see here the files that have been installed as part of that process. I'm just going to quickly open constants.ts here, and I'm going to update this with my Shopify store, and I'm also going to change the currency code up here to my default store currency code. The store ID down here is used for a couple of features of the studio, such as linking off back to your Shopify admin, and also our Shopify asset picker plugin that we'll touch on in a little while. So now we've adjusted those values, we can run npm run dev, hit enter, and that'll start our Sanity Studio on a local server. And we can open this now, and we can see that we can log in, and hey presto, we are in our Sanity Studio, and we can see that the products from our stores synced through. I can see now that I can start to add some content to this product, and I can also see that variants have synced through, as have our collections. And because we've got that two-way sync going, when we make changes, for example, when we edit this content here and click publish, that's going back to Shopify. If I look into the products here, and we'll just show you where that is going to. So in meta fields, we click show all, and then we need to go into more actions and view read only at meta fields. And we can see in here that we now have this Sanity published content meta field. So we're adding that to Shopify as a read-only meta field, and that protects that from edits outside of the Sanity Studio. So you can't edit that within Shopify, it's all done from the Sanity Studio. So the Studio itself, if you're not familiar with it, is our open source editorial experience. It's built on React, and you can tailor this to your needs. So you can make this your own and design this to work for your organization. So you can configure your content model, for example. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to look at how we can add some more content types to this product content model. So if we head back to our code editor, we've got our schemas folder here, and here we define our document types, where we can see we've got collections, products, and variants defined. So let's go ahead and open the product.tsx here, and I'm going to want to add a field after the body content here, and I'm going to want to add a field to define whether this product is environmentally friendly or not. So I'm just going to copy and paste this code in here. So we can see here we're defining a field. The name of this is environmentally friendly. It's type Boolean, so true or false, and we're going to add it into the editorial group, which will mean that that shows up under this tab here. And we can see here that that is immediately showing up in the Studio, and I can enable this product as being environmentally friendly. We may, for example, also want to add fields to variants. So let's have a look at how that would work. Again, if I jump back to my code editor, I can have a look and see that we've got a product variant here. And let's say we want to add a specification to that field to determine the width, height, and depth of that variant. So I'll just add this. Let me copy and paste that again. Here we are. So we can see here we're determining that we have an object with, we're adding that again to the editorial group, and then we've got some fields within that object. We've got a width, which is a number, a height, which is a number, and a depth, which is a number. And we're also adding to the title the millimeters that we want to, so the editor can understand that that is what's required of them. And here we can see that these fields are now populated within the variant. There's a lot more other kind of things you can do with schema. So for example, we can add a description to determine and give hints to the editors to say what those fields are doing. And so you can really customize and build out this editorial experience to be how you need it to be and to help out your editors on certain kind of workflows and things that they might be undertaking. And again, once we populate this with content for a variant, that will sync over to a variant meta field on Shopify. The meta fields that we sync over to, essentially the full Sanity document, we're pushing all that into a single meta field in Shopify, and then you can access that data within Liquid, and that's all done server side. There are no runtime API calls or anything, so it's a very performant way of being able to access that content within Shopify. So next up, let's take a look at how you can amend your Shopify theme to display this content. We have here in my code editor my Shopify theme. So we're just going to open up terminal and run Shopify theme dev in this same folder. And that's going to start up a local development environment for us to make changes to this Shopify theme. And what we're going to want to do is start to output some of this content from Sanity here. So let's open up a product page. And the first thing I'm going to want to do is I really would like to have the environmentally friendly label on there if this product is environmentally friendly, and we're going to want to put that right up the top. That's an important buying decision. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to open up main product, and on let's put that just after let's put that just after the price here, maybe just around here. So what we want to do is essentially we're going to say if the product meta fields, the namespace for the meta field is app, because it's an app namespace. It's a bit of a longer namespace, and the name of the meta field is published. We want to access the value of that, and the value we want to access is environmentally friendly. And let's say if that is there, let's close that if statement, and we want to just say, add a p tag there to say environmentally friendly. There we go. So now if we have a look here, we can see that been rendered out. So we're conditionally rendering that because that field is set to true. We might want to actually make this a little bit nicer looking though. So what I'm going to do up at the top here is I'm going to assign the meta field to just a doc value, and that means that when we're outputting that, we can just do that with if doc environmentally friendly. It's a little bit nicer looking. Perfect, so that's working now. And now I think I might want to output the specification about each variant, the sizes that we've added for each variant. So what I'm going to do there is I'll wrap that in this price element actually, because I know that that gets updated when the variant changes. There's a section rendering API re-renders that. So let's variant doc equals product, and we want to use the selected or first available variant here. And that's going to make sure that if the variant changed, the selected changes, we'll get the new updated value. And again, we want to access the meta fields and the app namespace and get the value there. And we're assigning that, so it's going to be a little bit easier and nicer to look at. And then I'm just going to want to output the specification width by height by depth. And then fantastic, that's been output there, and we can see as we change the variant that the values of that are changing as well. So that's a perfect example of a simple bit of variant specific content that could change based on the current variant being selected. Awesome. We have also added to this product some body text now. We've got some a call out, an image and text section, a grid, and an accordion section. So this is done using what we call portable text, and this is a specification for storing rich text. We've also created a plugin so you can access assets from Shopify here. So we've got this image text section, and I can select an asset from Shopify. So I can choose to grab an image or a video or a PDF file, for example, out of Shopify directly and embed that within the studio, and then we can then render that in Liquid, and those assets are delivered from Shopify. And we've created some snippets to help with this as well. So we've got a portable text to Liquid repo here. This is a selection of Liquid snippets that we can add to our theme to help us to render out this rich text block content here. So let's go ahead and add these to our theme. So how we want to do that is I'm just going to download the repo here. So I'll just jump back to here and download this as a zip. And then once I've done that, I can just drag these over to our snippets folder within here. And so we should now have some additional snippets to render out some portable text here. And so I want to start rendering out this text that we've added. So I'm going to add these to the bottom of this section here. Let's go down and add that just before we get to the schema declarations here. And we're passing in, essentially we're rendering out the portable text snippet and passing in as the portable text value document body. And hopefully we should now, if I jump back to the product page, excellent, we're starting to render out some of this content here. Now, there are a couple of snippets that we provide by default in this portable text to Liquid repo. However, you might want to add to this based on the way you have customized your portable text. So I've added an image and text section and a grid section here. that aren't provided out of the box. So if, say, we want to create our own portable text sections and render those in Liquid, what we want to be able to do here is customize how all this is rendered, and we can do that with the existing provided snippets as well. So for example, we've got a call out, which is this heading here, and I want that to actually be much larger than that, so I'm going to add a new class to that. Let's I think we go with HXL, which is a Dawn style, and there we go, we've got much larger heading there, which I like the look of. So let's start to now add those new snippets as well. So we need to get that grid rendering and that image and text section rendering. So in order to do that, we basically need to tell the snippets how to deal with different types of block content. So we're going to want to add a couple of new statements here to say, when we encounter an image text section, let's render out a snippet called image text. And when we encounter a grid, let's call that grid, and we're going to pass in the block, so that's the content that goes along with that, and I'm going to call that image text. So when we create this snippet, we can access the values with these variables here. Great, so let's now have a quick look, and we're kind of now seeing this error here that these snippets don't exist, so we need to now create those snippets and get these things rendering. So I'm just going to create these files. Excellent. So now we should hopefully not have the errors, but we're going to have nothing rendering out because we don't have anything within those snippets. So then we can actually start to work with the data in there. So I've created a couple of snippets here already, so I can quickly get these up and running. So we're essentially, these are using all the Dawn CSS classes, and we're essentially checking, do we have an image, and if so, we're using the Liquid filters to render this image out. So things you should be familiar with in terms of we're grabbing the image, we're creating an image URL of a certain width, we're adding an image tag of lazy, loading lazy sizes, we're passing in sizes, we're passing in widths that we want to render that image at. All the things that you'll be familiar with from working with Liquid themes, you can do in this context as well. And then we're passing back render portable text because we've got a, within the image text section, this is another portable text block. So we can pass and you can see how you can nest content within content, and that can become very powerful, and you can do a lot of different things with this. And equally, we want to create that grid section. So I've got, again, a snippet here I can copy and paste in, and we're essentially just looping through the array here to say for each grid item in grid items, output the title and output the body, and again render the portable text there. And so we here now have this grid section. So you can really start to build out different content models and different types, and also this is super flexible. So let's move this grid up to the top here. Let's get that published. That'll be syncing over in the background to Shopify, and we'll be able to momentarily we'll be able to see the grid moving up to the top. There is a little bit of caching sometimes with meta fields, but you can see there that that's moved up to the top now. And so you can create some very flexible, customizable page layouts. You're not linked to a certain number of templates or anything like that. This could be distinct content per product. So I hope that gives you a good feeling for some of the possibilities here, and how you can embed this within Liquid. I'd urge you to check out our documentation. There's plenty of information around portable text within the README of the GitHub repo, information around the Shopify asset plugin as well. And feel free to reach out to us and our Slack community should you have any questions, and look forward to seeing what happens and what gets done with this. Thank you.